And so I think the biggest thing is just knowing that folks that engage in kink are no more likely than the general population to have experienced trauma. And that just because we have interests, just because they have interests, does not mean that it is inherently linked to something wrong or something traumatic.
Hello, everyone. I am Michelle Melville-Cashan. I am the Community and Content Director here at Sexual Health Alliance. And today I'm with Amanda Jepson. Amanda will be presenting at our online event happening April 12th and 13th, Sex Education, Coaching, and Program Development. Welcome, Amanda.
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So my name is Amanda Jepson. I'm a licensed professional counselor, certified sex therapist, and I currently work with active duty military, veterans, first responders doing both trauma work and sex therapy. In addition to that, I am also a professor, so I teach intro to sex therapy and sex and relationships classes.
Wonderful. Perfect. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be talking about at this event?
Absolutely. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about how I build the curriculum for my classes. So talking about the research that I look at, books that I look at, and really how I try to bring in information in different formats to keep students engaged.
That's wonderful. We're going to have so many sex educators at this event who I know are going to be fascinated in that topic. Also, we're going to have sex therapists, medical professionals, coaches. So I think this is going to be really beneficial for them. So do you teach a lot of your classes in person or online or both?
So the classes that I teach, those are in person. I do offer other forms of education. So I will do workshops or consultation groups, and those are mixed 50-50 in person versus remote. So I do quite a bit both in person and remote.
Great. So are there any challenges in teaching remotely?
I think one of the biggest ones is really being able to ensure that people are engaged and how to do that. Especially since when you're on video, when you're on your computer, it's so easy for people to open up another window or to be checked out or playing on their phone. The other thing too that I find is people will just turn their cameras off. So you can't see, and it really does make it harder to read body language. It makes it harder to know if people are being interested in what you're presenting versus in person. I can scan the classroom or I can scan the conference room and I can see who's engaged and who's not and change up my material on the fly or change the way that I'm presenting. It's so much harder online sometimes.
Oh, I totally agree. Like if anybody who's watching has ever been to one of our online events at Sexual Health Alliance, we're always like, please turn your cameras on so we can see your faces, just because it is so nice to get a gauge on your audience. Because otherwise, if everyone's
Mhm.
got their cameras off, it's like you're teaching into the abyss.
Yep.
You're not really sure what's landing and how receptive they are.
Yeah. It's also disconnecting when everybody's camera's off and all you see is that, Brady Bunch square of black, like just black empty squares. It feels like you're talking into an echo chamber. Yeah. So I love that you guys have people keep their cameras on.
Right, we do. We have such an engaged audience. Like I said, if anybody's ever been to an event, there's always questions in the chat. People are raising their hands. Like it's a very interactive, engaging space.
Absolutely.
So, can you tell me what is a common myth or misconception that you hear about, either as a sex therapist or as a professor, something related to sexual health?
Ooh, there are a lot of good ones, but I think one of the biggest ones that I spend a lot of time really working on is folks that are engaged in kink or BDSM have a trauma history or something must be wrong with them. I work a lot with more vanilla therapists doing consultation. I'm the only sex therapist in a very large group practice here on campus. So I hear that a lot. I hear that from my students a lot, and I hear that from my clients as well. And so I think the biggest thing is just knowing that folks that engage in kink are no more likely than the general population to have experienced trauma. And that just because we have interests, just because they have interests, does not mean that it is inherently linked to something wrong or something traumatic.
That's a really good one. That's one that I see a lot as well. I like that.
Mhm.
All right, so if you could leave our audience with one tip or takeaway, what would it be?
I really think the biggest one is whenever you are trying to feel good, whether that's just moving through life, finding happiness, contentment, peacefulness, or really trying to be in a place of experiencing pleasure, really trying to focus on being mindful and connected to yourself. And so doing some deep breaths, spending some moment looking inward, spending a moment really checking in on yourself, that really can go a long way to knowing where you're at, knowing what you need, but really being able to be present and engaged with what's right in front of you.
Oh, that is such a great takeaway. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, for anyone watching, if you want to learn more from Amanda Jepson, you can attend our event. Like I mentioned, it's happening April 12th and 13th. It's an online event, so it's really accessible. You can get tickets at our website at sexualhealthalliance.com. We'll also have a link in the description below. And if you love this content, you love learning about sexual health, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. We'd love to see you here. We'd love to have you leave a comment. Maybe you could ask Amanda a question in the comments below. We could answer it during the event. All right. Well, thank you, Amanda, for being with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.